Hi, I'm Mithru.
I'm Rushali. That's
Uh,
my face.
and that's my face. We're doing a little face swap with Spark AR, and that's which is what we're going to take you through today. For the next 20 minutes, we're going to show you some. We're going to take you through an introduction of Spark AR, of AR in general. So we're going to take you through an introduction to what is AR, augmented reality, and we're also going to walk you through Spark AR, which is this tool built by Instagram and Facebook, where you can build Facebook. You can build.
So we are on the Sparkyar Facebook.com website, which where you'll have to go to download the Sparkyar Studio software. So go ahead and download that.
So now that Spark AR is downloaded, let's open it up. And the version that we have at the time of this video is 92, version 92. And as soon as you open it up, you first see a list of template projects, which I recommend all of you to kind of check out. These are some pretty cool projects. This is kind of the way both Rushali and I learned this in YouTube videos for the most part. But yeah, so let's just get started. For now, let's create new. For now, we're just going to go through a blank project because we want to walk you through the basics.
So the add object is something that you would want to play around with. The top 3 or 4 things that show up are the face tracker, the plane tracker. The face tracker tracks the face. The plane tracker is going to track a plane, so you can place like a 3D object on the plane, things like that. The fixed target tracker is usually a 2D image that's your target that then acts as a trigger for your AR experience. And then a hand tracker doesn't work on Instagram, but it works on Facebook. So you can edit the platforms for this project. So for now, I just have these Facebook and Instagram updated, but you all can change that as needed. Um, you can also add 3D objects, you can add 2D objects, you can add different kinds of lights, and you all can add particle systems and speakers like other effects. On the lower part of the left panel is your assets, and in the assets you can import things from your computer, which would be different textures that you need or 3D objects, or you can also go and search through the RAR library. Spark AR has tied up with Sketchfab, so they have a lot of interesting 3D objects, different kinds of music sounds, and then patch assets like animations and again different kinds of textures that you might need. They also have like starter script helping things. On the right, you'll see a properties panel, and every object or anything that you add to the scene will have its properties show up on the right. So in case of this plane that I just added, it's right in the center of our scene. You can change its positions either from changing the numbers over here, or you can click this button over here and you can change the position up and down, with the yellow being the y-axis, the red being the x-axis, and then the blue one being the z-axis. So you can bring it front and back. And like you see these, when I move these arrows, the numbers on the panel over on the right changes. You can also change the size of the plane. If you go to the center of it, all three get highlighted, and when you click and drag it, in all they increase in unison. If you just want them to increase in one sort of sense, pick just that x axis, and it will only increase on the x axis equally. You just want the y to increase, you can do that. Again, you'll see the same thing, the numbers changing on the right. The last one is rotation. Uh, it again has the same sort of sense where you pick the red, yellow, or green ones and then you rotate them as you require. And you'll see the numbers change on the right.
So in this project, what we're going to do is we're going to create a face swap effect. So we're going to need two faces. I'll turn on the camera for this so that we can have two faces in the scene. That's Rushali, and I've got myself. I might have to take off my glasses for this because sometimes it just looks weird. But okay, to get started, first of all, we need two face trackers. So I'm going to add that face tracker 1 and the second one. So now that we have two face trackers, on the right what you see is this, it says tracked face, right? So and under tracked faces you see these two, face 1 and face 2. So because that's phase 1 and phase 2, and just to maintain consistency, I'm just going to rename this as well from phase tracker 0 to, actually hold on, phase tracker 1 becomes phase tracker 2, phase tracker 0. And again, this is just to maintain consistency. You don't need to do it if you don't want to. So now that we have the two face trackers, what this does effectively is it gets all the information about a face that it sees on the scene. So, and what I need now is I need a face mesh inside that face tracker. So I'm going to right click, add face mesh, or add object rather. And now the face mesh also I'm going to rename to face mesh 1. And I'm going to make that a child of face tracker 1. And there you see over here, Rushali's face was the first one that was detected. It's put a mesh on top of Rushali's face, and that's face mesh 1. I'm going to do the same for the second face mesh, or rather the second face tracker. I'm going to make this a child of face tracker 2 and rename it to face mesh 2. Okay. So now if you notice, it's still tracking only Rushali's face, and the reason for that is face tracker 1 is tracking face 1, face mesh 1 is still tracking face 1, face tracker 2 is also tracking face 1, so I'm going to change that to face 2, and there we go. So it's got that, and face 2. So now what you need to kind of make, I'm going to make this a little bit larger. So I'm going to use, let's say I'm going to simulate an iPad Pro. So now I'm going to open my mouth, and what you notice is that this face mesh is tracking all, or rather it's taking all the details tracked from face tracker 2 and it's attaching it to my face, right? And it's doing the same for the other face mesh. So that's basically what it's doing. And now what I'm going to do is, now I don't want this checkered face, right? So I just wanted to try and show my own face on there. So, and in order to do that, I'm going to go to face tracker 1, and under face tracker 1 there's this thing called texture extraction. So remember, the face tracker tracks everything about the face, from the position to the texture to everything. So I'm just going to get the texture out, and it creates this little texture on the left that's called face tracker 1 texture. I'm going to go ahead and apply that to face mesh 1 by adding a material. Now again, this material is named material 0. I'm going to rename that to face material 1. And face material 1, I'm going to make the shader type flat. Flat essentially means there's no added light added to it, so I'm just going to leave it as flat. And what I'm going to choose is face tracker 1. So the interesting thing here is it doesn't seem like there's anything going on, but what you will see is, like, if I go to the face mesh and let's say I move this a little bit, is it showing? Can you move around a little bit? Interesting. Let's see. Okay, let's go into the scene and change it. Maybe it's a little bit more.
There you go.
There we go. So see, so basically I've got like this mask thing that's attached. So that's basically the face mesh that I'm moving around, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reset that to 0. Reset everything to 0, 0. For whatever reason, the rotation also changes. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is at its default, 0, 0, 0, so it doesn't look like anything wrong. I'm going to do the exact same thing for face mesh 2 as well. I'm going to go to materials, create a new material, rename this to face material 2, and then under face tracker 2, face mesh 2, under face tracker 2 I'm going to extract the texture. So the face tracker 2 texture comes out. I'm going to apply that to face mesh 2, the material. So I click on the face material, make this flat, and I choose face tracker 2. So again, now it doesn't seem like there's anything going on, but remember, there's a face mesh in front of Rushali's face, there's a face mesh in front of my face. And since we want to swap it, all we need to do is we need to make sure that the texture that's being used is the other texture. So now there are two Rushalis. But again, like if you notice, Rushali's face is actually controlled by my face movement. So I'm actually opening my mouth and moving things around. And now if I want to swap my face with Rushali's face, all I need to do is go to face material 1 and change the texture to face tracker 2. There we go. So this is where I said like my glasses might kind of play a role, because remember all this is basically a flat texture, right? So it doesn't really take the depth of my glasses. So if I take off my glasses, this looks relatively closer, and there you have it. We've got we've got a face swap lens. And if you want to test this out, all you need to do is you need to go up here to test on device. You can preview it on this app called Spark AR Player. I just choose to use the Instagram app that I have. So if I've logged in, you can just hit send and it automatically sends a notification to your Instagram application, and you can try it out directly from there. One thing that you might want to keep in mind is the asset size. So you want to make sure that your asset summary, if you click view hide asset summary, over here it gives you like an entire list of how much or how big your project is, and it needs to be under 4 megabytes. So if it's all good and you want to test it, you can just click test on device and just go through how I just showed you. And if you want to actually make an export and put it up live on Instagram, you would have to click export and upload, and it gives you again, like, it makes sure that it basically does a few checks internally. It says that it meets all file requirements, and if it doesn't, it basically, there's a big X, and then you can view the file asset summary here. It makes sure that all the capabilities are met, and if you click publish new effect, it automatically just sends it to the account that is linked to Spark AR, the application on your computer. I prefer to actually export the file and then push it up. I don't know why, I'm just kind of old school that way. So for now, I'm just going to make a test export. The next thing you want to do is go to facebook.com/Spark AR Hub, and it brings you to your Spark AR Hub dashboard. Okay, so once you're in the facebook.com/Spark AR Hub/dashboard, you should see all your existing lenses. Right now I'm logged in as Rushali. She's got 3 lenses up, and it gives you a list of, or rather the analytics for each of those lenses. For now, I'm just going to focus on trying to publish that lens. So if I click publish in effect, I'm going to choose Instagram instead of Facebook, and then I choose my effect. And once I choose, so I can just choose that same effect from here. I need to give it a name. And then I can select a bunch of categories. So in this case, I don't know, I'm just going to say selfies, love, weird, and scary. So love, selfies, love, and self-love is basically weird and scary. You can add a bunch of keywords. This is how this I'd highly recommend if you want more people to try it out, because it's using a hashtag. I think we all know the importance of that. Once you're done with that, then it basically asks you to create a few demo videos. And the demo videos are basically like the preview video that one sees before they log in, or rather, not before they log in, but when they browse through a list of your lenses. That's the demo video that one would see on Instagram. It also asks for an icon, and it kind of asks you when exactly you want it published. Now, all of this has to go through a review process. A lot of this review process is manual. So I would really recommend making sure that you're make sure you go through the guidance. I would really recommend that you check out the Spark AR community Facebook group. And that's basically facebook.com/Spark AR creators. It's this really nice group where people kind of post their anything new that they've done, some interesting projects. Both Rushali and I are part of this group. So sometimes we also kind of ask questions or we answer questions, so you can find us there.